Hello everyone, this is part 2 of the book of Haggai. It is also important to know Haggai was guided and used by God to challenge the people by asking intense questions concerning physical uncleanliness and relating it to the spiritual uncleanliness and how it related to the situation that they were experiencing. In this story, uncleanliness was always stronger than holiness, and they needed to know how serious this was and how it was affecting them. An important cultural analogy that Haggai used, because there were laws that they followed to protect the people from diseases, and by following these laws, they kept themselves clean. This example can also be related to the spiritual condition of the person's temple. These laws also provided instruction on what is wrong and what is right. Haggai proved his point when he asked the priest if cleanliness or holiness might be transmitted through touch. And this is found in page 1532 of the KJV Bible. The priest responded, "No." In chapter 2, verse 10 and 14, and in verse 13, it states, "And Haggai said, if one who is unclean because of a dead body touches any of these, will be he unclean?" So the priest answered and said, "It shall be unclean." Haggai was trying to explain that the indifference of the attitude of the people towards building the temple is comparable to touching something unclean, as it had polluted everything because the people were not conducting themselves with clean and willing hearts. And for this reason, their efforts were not acceptable to God. Haggai was pointing out with this example the reason that things were not going according to the promise, and the reasons that they were not experiencing any progress was caused by their own unclean heart posture. First, they distanced themselves from God. Second, they made themselves a priority by becoming more focused on their own personal comfort as opposed to worshiping and relying on God for His provision. God asked the people to reevaluate their lives and consider their heart posture, as they were ignoring their spiritual health. God is a God of order and does not accept unwillingness of heart, as it is considered a form of rebellion. In everything that we do for God, it has to be done willingly and with an obedient heart, as He is the provider of everything, and we will not lack anything as long as we keep our faith focused in Him. They had already known God to come through in this area in the past. He never failed them as a provider, so why change now? When God's words never changes, nor does He go back on His promise. The moral of this teaching is that they made a promise to God and went back on their words by allowing their hearts to become unclean, and this resulting in their disobedience. Continue to video 3.